American League Rookie of the Year. As for the Mariners, of course, 2.5 games up in the wild card race, putting them in prime position to end a 20-year playoff drought. As you look at Julio Rodriguez's record-breaking season, we mentioned he is the favorite for AL Rookie of the Year at -400. And then he was on the MLB All-Star team, finished second in the Home Run Derby. And we mentioned his stats in terms of home runs and stolen bases. He's the fourth first-year rookie to have a 2020 season. It's been an incredible run for Julio Rodriguez, and he is now set to cash in big time, over $200 million guaranteed in a potential new extension for 14 years. And then, of course, could balloon to more than $400 million as you look at the first-year rookies with 2020 seasons. He is the first since Marty Cordova back in 1995 to do it. All right, let's bring in David Samson, host of Nothing Personal with David Samson, for more on this. David, we don't exactly know the numbers down to the decimal point, a lot of potential money here. So what's your understanding of this massive extension?
Well, this used to be the exception, and now it's become the rule. What GMs are doing, and they're doing it with the blessing of their owners, they're trying to lock in players not only through their arbitration years, but they're trying to buy out years of free agency. And it used to be you had to have a track record. Julio Rodriguez has played 108 games. A great first year. Second in the home run derby, that means nothing to a team president or GM. 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases, outstanding. But you better do that a lot of years, because the way it used to work is when you signed a contract like this, you used to give up some upside. But now players are getting the last dollar, and there's no protecting the downside for management. You talked about this deal could be worth $400 million. It'll never be worth under $210 million, even if he becomes Chris Coughlin. So I really cannot believe this trend in baseball, and you are going to see an inflection point where these deals are going to stop happening.
David, Seattle general manager Jerry Dipoto, known for being very aggressive. I mean, are you surprised that he's going after a deal like this?
Yeah, just FYI, there's nothing aggressive. Jerry Dipoto will not be the GM for 14 years. Start there. And I wasn't aggressive when I signed Giancarlo Stanton. I said to Giancarlo, hey, what's it going to take so you don't say no? He said, would you consider 325 over 13? I said, great. He said, great. Yes, done. That's not being aggressive. That's not negotiating. That's giving in because you have no leverage and want to do something to try to erase the past of your franchise. The Mariners haven't made the playoffs in so long I can barely remember. Maybe not since Julio was born, for crying out loud. So from my perspective, Jerry Dipoto is writing a check that he's not going to have to cash, and now he gets to not worry about Julio Rodriguez going forward. But again, the risk on this deal is substantial.
David, I mean, you mentioned it. He's only played 108 games in the majors so far. So, I mean, how much of a precedent does this set for a player that's not even finished his rookie season to get a deal like this?
Well, it keeps going. It used to be, do you remember Evan Longoria? He's still playing. He got a deal as a very young kid out of Tampa. And I remember saying inside our front office, wow, that's an interesting thing that Tampa's doing. Let's start watching this. And then we saw a few more players getting it, a few more. And now it's becoming much more common. And what it turns out to be is owners say to their GMs, I love this player. Don't let him go. Don't let him go to a big market. Let's not be the farm system for big market teams. And in order to do that, let's guarantee money that he cannot say no to. And that's what this type of deal is.
As you look at the largest contracts by total value, Mike Trout leading the way, 12 years, $426.5 million, substantially more than Mookie Betts, who also is in a 12-year deal. David, how important is this deal for Seattle as they look to rebuild, claim centerpieces in the long term?
It's not important at all. Julio Rodriguez was already signed to a 5-year contract. People don't look at it that way because they don't know what he was going to get paid. But he's got 3 years, then 3 years of arbitration. He really has a 6-year deal, including this year. So what we're talking about is an 8-year extension on top of the control they already had. So for today's Mariners, for tomorrow's Mariners, for Mariners through long after Dipoto is likely gone, the deal really doesn't mean a thing. He's not going to start playing better all of a sudden. I don't know that he can play any better.
David, what kind of a ripple effect could this have? I mean, we're looking at deals. So Shohei Ohtani possibly looking at $500 million. Juan Soto's name mentioned as well in terms of big deals. So what is the ripple effect that this deal could have?
Well, if I'm an agent, I'm saying to every single president and GM, look at the money that's being given to guys who have no track record, right? Their track record is months, not years. If I'm Aaron Judge, boy, my tail is wagging and I'm doing the Snoopy dance right now because the amount of money that's going to players now has just grown so much and they have no track record. Aaron Judge gets to go to a team and say, look what I've done year after year. Sure, I've been injured a few years, but when I'm not injured, look what I can do. I may have broken the single season home run record for the Yankees. Julio Rodriguez, 2020, and believe me, don't misunderstand me, Jeremy. He's a great young player. But what is the need to sign a great young player today when you've got him for 6 years? Is it possible 6 years from now he'd be worth $800 million? Maybe. But guess what? The odds are he wouldn't be worth $400 million, and that's the way you have to think.
Former baseball executive, World Series champion David Samson joining us to discuss the massive extension coming for Seattle rookie Julio Rodriguez. Great to see you as always, David. For more on this and other baseball storylines up for discussion, be sure to check out Nothing Personal with David Samson. You can download and follow the podcast wherever you get your podcast audio. You can also watch the pod on YouTube.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.